singing. Tracking the talker. Crisscross applesauce. Hands in our lap. Voices off. Thank you. Here's what we're doing in our music video today. Elementary Academy scholars will be able to sing and move to Warrior Cry, discover our rhythm of the day, review and listen to the instruments of the brass family, and review and sing solfege. So the first thing we're going to do is Warrior Cry. You have to reach back in your memory to remember hunk, alea, alea. We're going to do it 4 times straight through. First time largo, slow, crawling speed. Second time andante, a walking speed. Third time allegro, a brisk pace or skipping speed. And fourth time is presto, fast, running speed. We're not going to pause in between. So when we finish, hey, hunk, we're going right back into the beginning of the song. Okay? So here we go. Hunk, alea, alea, hunk, alea, alea, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, bushka, 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 aria, 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 hey, hey, hunk, alea, alea, hunk, alea, alea, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, bushka, 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 aria, 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 hey, aria, 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 hey, hunk, alea, alea, hunk, alea, alea, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, bushka, 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 aria, 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 hey, aria, 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 hey, hunk, alea, alea, hunk, alea, alea, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, tiki, tiki, tom, tom, bushka, 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 aria, 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 hey, aria, 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 hey. All right, here's Warrior Cry. You can have a seat, relax again. Find your safe, brave space so you can do some good learning. Next thing we're going to do is our rhythm of the day. So I'm going to hold this rhythm up. See if you remember what those sounds are called. This one's brand new. We just talked about it last week. So first we have our tika tika sound. Tika tika. Each head of the note, that's the circle part, makes its own sound. Tika tika. Then we have our sh. Tika tika sh. And this is that new one. Music, we call that a half note. We say ta when we say it. It's a little bit longer than other notes. So tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Now we've talked before about how usually in the music we do, there are 4 sounds. But look, Mrs. Alice, this is 1, 2, 3. This one lasts for 2 sounds. Okay? Tika tika sh. Ta. Okay? I'm going to clap this. When you can clap that with me, I'd like you to join in. Ready? Here I go. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Fine. Let's try to speed it up just a little bit. That was kind of an andante speed. We're going to bump it up to allegro. And the tika tikas are going to go fast. Ready? Here we go. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Tika tika sh. Ta. Fine. I almost can't move my hands that fast. Okay, there's our rhythm of the day. We're going to work on rhythms of the day here and there for the rest of the school year. But starting next week, we're going to be working on solfege exercise of the day, or solfege of the day. Okay, last week on Monday, day 1 of our videos, we introduced the members of the brass family, and then on day 2, we listened to the music of and learned about the life of John Philip Sousa, who is a composer, someone who writes music, who did a lot with brass instruments. Now, I happen to have mostly, the 4 main brass instruments that we talked about last week. So I thought today would be a great example for me to show them to you so you can kind of see them in person as much as is possible. And then you'll hear me play them a little bit. If we had been on campus and at school together, I would have shown you all these, and if it weren't for COVID, we might have even had a chance to play some of them. But this is going to have to do for us for now. So the first one I have for you is actually technically not one of the 4 we talked about. The 4 we talked about were trumpet, French horn, trombone, and tuba. I have something that looks a lot like a trumpet, but this is technically something called a cornet, which is kind of a smaller version of the trumpet. We talked last time about how when you make a sound on a brass instrument, you blow into a mouthpiece, so you can hold your fingers up like that, maybe about the size of like a nickel, and you buzz like that, and that's what makes the sound. This is the mouthpiece of a trumpet, so you can see how big it is compared to my hand. That might be interesting for later. And I pretend like the circle part of that mouthpiece is that circle nickel size hole. And that's what sounds comes out of just the mouthpiece. When I put the mouthpiece on and I blow through, the air then travels through all these different tubes and comes out the bell of the instrument. If I press down these valves in different combinations, it will make certain parts of this instrument open up. So maybe if I hit this second valve and follow it down, this tube is connected, this little tube right here. So that opens that up and it makes the instrument that much longer. Okay. So we talked about how brass instruments play very loud. When you play a trumpet, the bell is usually pointed out straight over the heads of maybe the other people in the orchestra or the band. So this projects forward, plays loudly forward. So trumpets are usually meant to be loud instruments. They often play the melody or the main tune. Now, when I was in high school, the school I went to had the exact same school rouser as the U of M. So that's what I'm going to play for you on my cornet, on my trumpet. If you have headphones on, you might just want to check volume because trumpets can be kind of loud. I'm going to be playing right at my recording device. Okay, here we go. So that is my trumpet, cornet, trumpet. Okay. I started playing trumpet when I was in 5th grade. So I've been playing that one for a while. The next instrument in the brass family is the French horn. The French horn is a lot bigger, but if you look at the mouthpiece, compared to the size of my hand, it's a little bit smaller than a trumpet mouthpiece, a little bit. The French horn is very different because of the way you play it. I'll scoot back so you can see. When I play the French horn, I play it down like this. And notice that the bell, where the sound comes out, points over here, and I keep my hand in it. Just like the trumpet, the cornet, you blow through, the air goes through all these different tubes, and on a French horn there's a whole bunch even on the back. And then eventually it comes out of the bell. I like the French horn because I think it sounds a little bit more mellow, a little bit more calm. Sometimes the French horn plays the melody, sometimes it plays the harmony, so sometimes the main tune, sometimes background music. Kind of depends on the instrument, but the piece of music. I started playing French horn, I think, when I was in 10th grade, and then I played it all through college also. This is what I called my primary instrument. So I'm just going to play a couple scales, so you can hear the sound of a French horn. instrument I have is the trombone. Now we're in the low brass family. We talked last time about how the trombone is shaped kind of like an S if you follow that tubing all the way around. Now, a trombone doesn't have valves like a trumpet or a French horn. It has this slide, and my slide's kind of sticky. But let me try to get all the way over so you can see how far. So I can pull this way out, and it'll change the sound of my trombone based on how far or how short, how close I pull it. We've talked before about how the bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. The smaller the instrument, the higher the sound. This makes me think way back to when we learned about strings and how violins are the smallest member of the string family. And it makes the highest sound. And that double bass that's bigger than me has the lowest sound. Same thing with brass instruments. If I make the instrument longer, it's bigger, then it usually makes some kind of lower sound. Not always, because in brass, we use what's called embouchure. You know that with our lips, if we tighten our lips, we can make the instrument go higher. Okay, so I'm going to show you that first on the trombone. I'm not going to move anything on the slide. I'm going to keep it here. But notice I'm just going to move my lips, and it's going to change the sound of the trombone. There we go. Now, funny story, I never really learned how to play the trombone when I was in college. So before I came to Prodeo, I made a point to start to try to learn trombone. So I bought myself this trombone maybe 2 years ago, and I can only play it a little bit. I need to keep practicing. So I'll play you a very simple song on the trombone. Oops, I messed up already. There we go. There's a trombone, nice low sound. The last instrument I have for you actually doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my big brother. When he was in high school, he played the tuba, and he happens to have one, so I kind of asked if I could borrow it. He knows I have it. And the tuba is the biggest brass instrument in the brass family. Really quick, notice the size of the mouthpiece compared to my hand. Huge compared to the trumpet and the French horn, right? When you play, this completely covers my entire lips. And I can't just go like I did on trumpet. I have to go. It makes me feel like a horse when I do it. The tuba is very heavy, very heavy. So you have to sit down when you play it. You can stand while you play the trumpet and the trombone. You usually don't stand when you play the French horn, but you can. It's kind of uncomfortable. But tuba, you pretty much have to play sitting down unless you play that sousaphone that we watched in our last week's video. Tuba has those valves, just like the French horn and the trumpet do. I can't make a whole lot of noise on the trombone or on the tuba because I have to my lips so much. But I'm going to try really hard to play a scale, and I hope if I mess up, you won't hold it against me. So here I go. I'm going to try to play the tuba. That's about all I could do. It takes a lot of air to blow through the tuba. Do you notice how much I was breathing to play that instrument? It's kind of cool. I'm going to try to play a really loud note just for fun. Alright, so those are the 4 main instruments of the brass family, so you can see them and hear them in person. Trumpet, French horn, trombone, and tuba. They're a lot of fun. Hopefully one day we're back in person and I can show you these at Prodeo. I think that would be super cool. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is just talk really, really quickly about solfege. We talked about solfege a few weeks ago, and we talked about how It was a way of singing without worrying about the words. Like if we were learning a song that was in, say, French or in German or in Italian, and it's kind of challenging. Maybe when we first learn it, we don't worry about the words and we learn it on solfege syllables, and that'll just help us match pitch a little bit better. So starting next week, instead of doing our rhythm of the day, we are going to be doing solfege of the day. So I'm going to be singing some different exercises to you, and your job is to match pitch, which means your voice sounds like mine. So I thought we'd take just a minute or two to review solfege, what it sounds like, what it is, and then in the description below, I'm going to put a link so that you can practice just a teeny tiny bit more on your own and so that you can see it. As you can tell, I'm at my house. That's because I didn't want to bring all these brass instruments to school if I didn't need to. Just, because of germs, I put my mouth on them and they're big and heavy. So I don't have my solfege cards to hold up as we do this. So we're just going to do a very quick review, and then after the video is done, click that link in the description and watch the video about solfege. Okay, so I'm remembering that solfege starts on do, and do, whenever we have do, we can do this little hand symbol that's like two fists. In the video I show you, there's like a little animated character that you'll see doing this, but it's kind of hard to tell. So we're going to review it now. Do, re, re gets a little higher. Do, re. Okay, do, re, mi is the next one. Do, re, mi. Next is fa. Do, re, mi, fa. Do, re, mi, fa. Sol is next. S-O-L. Sol. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Next is la. Just kind of let your hand just kind of hang there. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. There's two more. Ti. Just point up. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And remember we talked about how there's a do down here and a do up here. Do, do, low do, high do. Did you notice that as I sang through that, I started down here, and when I got to that high do, my hand was up here? You usually do that too. Make it rise from high to low, or low to high, depending on what you're singing. So let's do a quick pitch matching activity. We're just going to sing through a scale, bum, 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 with solfege. So just listen to my voice. We're going to go really slow. When you hear what I'm doing, just do it with me and copy my hand motions. Here we go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Thank you. You might have heard a song from the musical The Sound of Music that's very popular. I'm just going to sing that through with you. If you know it, if you don't know it, you can just listen, or you can do the hands motions with me. Because some of you might know this, and I think it's a really good way to kind of internalize and really ground the solfege stuff. So it sounds like this. Do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself, fa, a long, long way to run, so, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow, so, tea, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to do, do. Cool. Okay, so yeah, click that link in the description. Watch it really quick. Sing through it. It's kind of fun. It's really quick. It's like 3 minutes long. Check it out. And then next week, be ready for our solfege exercise of the day. And we're going to be doing it just a little bit every day as we get going. All right. We only have one thing left to do today. That is to do our train exit. So breathe with me, Elementary Academy. Here we go. Thank you for joining me for music today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.